Hello, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight, I want to speak to the Seattleites about the new head tax. Well, it's not really new. It was proposed in 2018, it was passed in 2018, and as soon as it was passed, it was taken straight off the books. It was the head tax. In theory, it was supposed to help the homeless. You would tax the businesses that are making 20 million a year at least $270 per person that they have employed. Well, businesses didn't like that. They don't like you sticking your hand in their pocket taking their money. Jeff Bezos got the Amazon employees and hired other people to act as Amazon to boycott the head tax, to spread lies and spread rumors and make you think it was just a bad deal all around. Now, it was not going to tax the individual worker or the individual employee of the company, but for every employee, the company would have to pay out $270. They're not going to pay that kind of money and just eat that cost. They're going to pass that on to their employees, either through pay cuts or they're going to pass it along to them somehow. They made the employees think that it was going to be on them, that it was going to come out of their paycheck, $270 a year out of their paycheck, which wasn't true. The head tax was going to be on the employer, and they had to pay for each and every employee that was in their company that was 20 million or more a year. Now, the companies didn't like that because they thought it was unfair. They thought every company should have to pay the $270, and they wanted to get a return on their investment. They wanted, if we're going to pay this, then we're going to get something back for it. But having said that, their $270 was going to go to the city, which in turn, in theory, was going to pay to help the homeless. Well, you can't do that. For one, the city has no intentions of helping the homeless. They say they do. They throw little bits of money here and there, but it doesn't help the homeless. They're allowing the homeless to stay outside, camping. They're overlooking the ones that are out on the street in front of the businesses that are hindering the Seattle tourist trade. I'm not heartless. I used to be homeless. I know what it's like. I worked in homeless shelters. I've been homeless in homeless shelters. I've even slept outside. So I understand the whole aspect of everything. I do. And Seattle has got to do something to fix that problem. Well, Kashima Sawant believes that she has it in the bag. She figures that she's going to go back to the head tax now that Amazon lost in the city council bid. They were not able to get their people that they wanted into office that would be more big business friendly. I'm not for sure exactly what the city council is going to do. I haven't fleshed them out yet, but I do plan on talking to the new ones one on one. Anyone that'll talk to me, I plan on asking them what they're trying to get done as city council. And some people are only concerned about their district, they're only concerned about their little area of Seattle. When I run for mayor in 2025, I plan on taking care of Seattle as a whole. I don't plan on nitpicking and pulling apart each little district like the city council members are doing. No, you cannot do that as a whole. You can't say my district is more important than yours. Seattle is a city. Seattle is not little communities. Seattle is not cities within a city. It is a whole city. Yes, you have neighborhoods. Yes, you do. And you have people that come from certain areas of Seattle. Yes, that is true. But as a whole, we are a city. Having said that, I wrote I wrote City Councilwoman Kashima Sawant a letter today. I fired it off not that long ago, actually. She'll probably get it tomorrow. I wrote her in the past, and she was able to speak to me on certain items that she felt was relevant within what I had said. I had also made it well known within the city council, letter after letter after letter, that I plan on running for mayor in 2025 if I do not see anything substantial happening within this next year, from 2020 to the end of 2020 going into 2021. So that will be the new year for when the mayor takes a new 4-year term. So I had talked to her about the head tax. Now, this is what you have to do with the head tax. You have to bring it to the company, and you have to talk to the owner of the company and set them down, and you have to talk to them and say, look, this is the problem we have, and you're one of the people that can help with the solution. We don't want to force you to do this, because it's not right to force anybody to do something that they don't feel impassioned to do. So what we were asking is that you donate the equivalent of the money that you would pay for your employees. It was $270 an employee. What if we brought it down to where it was like $100 a year? Or we round it to a particular number, and you agree to donate that much money to the city council every year for the help on homelessness. You make that a goal. Bill Gates, Microsoft, they already have agreed to that. They believe that it's a good deal. Although I personally think the money will not go to help the homeless. It will not go to help fix the homeless problem. And the reason I say that is because they've thrown good money after bad over and over and over again, and the homeless are still homeless, and the problem is still getting worse. The drugs are getting worse, the homeless is getting worse. As your mayor in 2025, as your mayor, I promise you that I will get the homeless off the street. I will lower the drug abuse rate. You cannot fix the homeless problem 100%, but I will make it very, very manageable. It will not be an eyesore anymore. And I'm not saying the homeless are eyesores. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not cold-hearted, but I do believe that the homeless living on the street is not healthy for them, and it's not healthy for the ones around them. They are not helping Seattle at all. That would be number one, getting them off the street and into a workable shelter. I've talked about that before. 2, bring the drug abuse rate down. 3, bring down the cost of living to a livable cost. 4, I would work with the rental owners and the property owners and the rental managers. I would work with them to bring the cost of rent down on certain types of rent. When it comes to luxury apartments, you can make the rent as high as you want. Houses that are in luxury neighborhoods, make them as high as you want. But I want apartments to be brought down lower for low income. You shouldn't make $60,000 a year and be low income. I would also work with the property owners to bring the cost of rent down so they would regulate themselves. I would give them a certain amount of leeway. This is how low you can go, this is how high you can go. Anywhere in between that, if you want to charge, you can. And if you do that for us, we will do this for you. Your luxury apartments, if they have the five amenities, you can charge whatever you want. And I believe that the property owners would go for that. I believe that if you work with them, they'll be willing to work with you. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. Now, one other thing, I'll bring down the rent. Also, I would um, try to close off the city for new transplants. Excuse me, I had a hair in my mouth. I would close off the city to new transplants. I would ask that people moving to Seattle, please don't do so until we get more housing for you to be able to live. Because it's not right, it's not fair to yourself to move yourself to a city with nowhere to go. Most people just move. They don't bother to check if there's availabilities. They go, they think, well, once I'm there, I'll just find an apartment. And then they find out that's not going to happen. And they're sleeping on somebody's couch in their basement, paying $1,000 a month just for the use of a couch. Now, back to the homelessness problem. Also affordable housing. There has got to be an area where, just like those houses that are built on a cul-de-sac, where you got the houses on both sides of the street, and then it goes around in a circle and then comes back out. Well, there's got to be areas of Seattle that are available to where we could put tiny houses, more than just a 10 foot by 10 foot though. Maybe 20 feet by 20 feet or something. I don't know. But tiny houses to move the homeless out of the shelters into these tiny houses and make them look like a neighborhood. Don't make them look like a pile of junk in the middle of nowhere, because there's nothing worse than making somebody that's homeless and on the street feel worse than they are. And when you have these tiny houses, they pay rent, $20 a month, $30 a month, or what have you. They pay rent every month, the rent that they can afford. They take care of their utilities, whether it be heat and electric or what have you. They get mail. The little community would be guarded so they can't do anything bad. They would also be inspected once a month, just to make sure they're okay and that the housing community is okay, because what you don't want is for people to go from being homeless, living in a tent city outside, to going into a tiny house and turning it into another tent city. You don't want that. You're supposed to progress into something better, not regress. Now, these are just some things that I've been talking about with the city council over the last year or so. These are things that I would like to work on as mayor. Now, the reason I picked 2025 is because between now and then, it will give me plenty of time to figure out exactly how to get these started and how to get these done. They sound great on paper, but they may be a little harder to get started. Also, it'll give me a chance to move back to Seattle. It will give me a chance to get to know some of the residents on a day-to-day basis. Hey, I got nothing to do all day. I can get on the light rails and the buses, and I can go to different neighborhoods, talk to store owners and explain what I want to do, pass out flyers, give them my YouTube channel. So if they want to get on YouTube once a week or maybe twice a week, I can do live video where I can put up ideas and you can write your ideas in, type them in. I can see them right as you're typing them and posting them. I can say, "Hey, that's a good idea. Let's talk about that for a minute." Then go on to the next idea. I know that every single thing somebody would like to have happen may not be feasible to happen. Like put a hot tub in your apartment when you live in a high rise. That may not be feasible. So when I get on YouTube, which is a very underutilized tool for me, especially, I think I can open myself up to much more people. If you're interested, you can contact me through YouTube, and eventually I will be putting my phone number down because I'll be getting a different phone number as well. With the phone I have, I'll be getting another phone and have that for people that want to call. Say it's 2 o'clock in the morning and they got a bright idea to help Seattle become better. Call me. I'd be willing to sit up for an hour and listen, 2 hours, as long as it's something that's constructive and will help the city of Seattle get better. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that like Seattle the way it is because they're making money off of Seattle and they want to keep making that money. And I get that. Getting the homeless problem taken care of. There'll be a lot of people that won't want that to happen either. Well, because they're making a lot of money off the homeless. Salvation Army, Union Gospel Mission, Downtown Emergency Service Center. Without the homeless, they don't get those grants. They don't get that money. And there's always a CEO that plays golf on the weekends and drives a Cadillac and wears a Rolex. And they like doing that. They love that lifestyle that it affords them. And they're making money off the backs of the homeless. And that's not fair either, to keep them down and out. Now, another thing with this workable shelter that I mentioned, and I'm going to let you go on this note, but this workable shelter idea. Right now, shelters are not made for people that work at night. If you have a job at night, the shelter is not made for you. The shelter is made for those that sleep at night and go to work during the day or bum around all day. You get out early in the morning before the workers go to work. You come back late at night after the workers have went home. They don't mind you being there. They just do not want to have to see you. Now, I had planned on trying to make this video shorter, but it's about 17 minutes long. Sorry for that. I will try to cut my videos down to about 10 minutes. But when I get on a subject that I feel impassioned about, everything goes out the window. So if you have any ideas about this video that I just told you about, please put the comments below. If you have something that you think needs to be talked about, please put a comment below. Give me your ideas on the head tax, what you think it'll do, how you think it'll work. And just remember, it's for the companies that are making $20 million a year or more. It's not the mom and pop restaurants, so you ain't got nothing to worry about there. Do your homework before you make a decision on how you feel about it. Look stuff up. I can only tell you so much. Google is supposed to be your friend. She wants you to use her, and if you talk to her nicely, Google will help you find what you are looking for. Anyway, if you have another idea for another video that you think is much better than this, or if you're tired of hearing me talk politics and you want me to take a break from that and talk about ice cream, let me know. Put it in a comment below. Anyway, if you like my videos, please hit a big old thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my video, the button's down there somewhere. I'm sure if you look around, you'll find it eventually. It took me a while to find it. It may take you a while too. So on that note, I'm going to let you go. Have a good night, Seattle, America, and all points beyond.